Most career coaches think that happy clients come from over delivering, but that is wrong. Think about it. Have you ever had a client that was excited and motivated to join your program? They were eager to get started and go on this journey with you. But then 2, 3 weeks later into your program, they start ghosting you. They stopped executing and they weren't happy with your service. What changed? You didn't change. Your program didn't change. What made this client go from happy to unhappy? And that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about the happy client formula. The formula is simple but powerful. Happy clients equals expectations minus reality. And in this video, we're going to talk about the 3 things that will change your client success department forever and ensure that you have happy clients 100% of the time. All right. We're going to be talking about the happy client formula, how to ensure that we have happy clients all the time. Let's hit it. What do you guys think makes someone happy? So money, results. What if I told you that's actually not the reality? It is actually, I'm going to give you this as it's telling you guys that story and as an example. So about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I had my gym bro and we went to Islands of Adventure, right? And if you guys know me, I obsessed with data and looking at the time. So I had my Garmin watch, and every single time we went on a ride, you would see a ride, it would be like, oh, it's an hour or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. As soon as I walked in, I go, Ch-. And then as soon as I got on the ride, I would stop it. And then I would say, okay, what did the time say? And what was the actual number? And one thing I realized is that every single time we went on a ride, it was never the right number. It was never the right number. So in this particular roller coaster, it was like this, the 3rd ride we ride, it said it was 1 hour long. And he was like, hey, bro, let's skip it. We'll come back. There's other rides we can ride. But to me, this is my favorite ride. This roller coaster is my favorite roller coaster. And so I'm like, I don't want to skip it. I bet you whatever you want that is less than an hour. By this time, I've already gone to 3 rides and I've already calculated and I already know that it's going to be less than an hour. And then we're in the line and it ended up being about 40 minutes. So the question that I have is, why do you think that Universal purposely puts a higher number here?
Expectations.
Elaborate. Why expectations? Tell me more.
Because if they think it's a 1 hour that they need to wait, but you give them just 40 minutes, it will be like a perception that gave them what they wanted in a shorter time. So yeah, they will feel like happier because they receive what they were expecting in less time.
They over delivered. What if it was backwards? What if it was 1 hour and we were there for an hour and a half? How would you feel?
You would feel annoyed.
We would feel annoyed. Be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Right? It's the same ride. It's the same experience. So the reality it comes to is, what is the expectation that is being set? And that's what takes us to the definition of what is a happy client. It's expectations minus reality equals happy client. So it's not that every client needs to go and make $1 million or get 20 clients a month. It's making sure that whatever they think they can accomplish, that we either A, say, yes, you can do this and we can meet that reality, or B, we can reset expectations and say, hey, settle down. This is what we can really do in 9 months. And if you're okay with this, then we're okay working with you. And that way we can ensure that we always have a happy client. So let's talk about what are the 3 things that we can do as a company. And if you're a coach and you're watching this as a coach to ensure that you can hit this formula. 1 is transition from clients and sales, because that is the number 1 mismatch of expectations. The sales team, whatever the sales team says is, yes, you'll make $1 million in 24 minutes. Just come in, pay, right? And then client success is like, that's not going to happen, right? So we need to match expectations. 2nd is, how do we continue to set clear expectations? And we're always closing the gap, not just in the first sales call, but throughout the time that we're working with them. And lastly, reminding of the progress that they are accomplishing, because we're reminding them of the reality all the time. So let's talk about the first one, transitioning. So I say, I got a client. Salo says, don't forget the notes. It is really important that not only do we have notes and even moving forward that we're recording the sales calls more than anything so that when client success takes over, you can see what were the expectations that I ultimately set as a salesperson or the salesperson set so that we can match those expectations, reset expectations, and that way the reality happens and we have a happy client. So why is this important? The moment a client says yes, working with us, they start thinking of like everything's going to work out perfectly. Like there is no bumps in the road. If I say, hey, you're going to build a business where you're making $10,000 a month, in their head, that's going to happen. But every day that goes by, that expectations decreases. So here's how we do it. Number one, we set clear expectations on the sales call. That is on the sales team. In this scenario is me. I need to make sure that I understand what success looks like. Second is that there needs to be a very strong onboarding and welcome sequence in order for one, get them excited to be part of the program, but two, to reinforce what the expectations are. And lastly is frame the journey as a partnership that, hey, like the only way you're going to get this result if we continue to work together. This is not like I do all the work and you get the result, or you all do all the work and I get all the credit. Is that it's a teamwork. It is ultimately has to be a partnership. That takes us to the second part, which is setting clear expectations and that we're always closing that gap so that the difference is never negative. It's either positive or the same. So this is a good example of Adam, right? So when I first started talking to Adam, he goes, I have aspirations to be a full-time coach. And I said, after getting more information of his life, of where he is with his company, with his family, we know understanding his social proof, his background proof, and his testimonial proof, right? His proof index, I can be like, fantastic. We can do this by December. Right. So we can set expectations. And it's interesting because this works with anything. I was like talking to, again, with the gym bro, and people are like, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds. But his program is 100 days. And it's impossible for you to lose 1 pound a day for 100 days. And so he's like, well, then how would I handle that? Well, then say, hey, in 100 days, you're going to be able to lose 20 pounds. If you want to lose 100 pounds, then I'll sell you a whole year package. Right. And so we just reset expectations correctly, and then they can decide if they want to work with us or not. But at this point, if they work with you with wrong expectations, you're never going to make them happy. So you either A, take a client and you deliver a great service, or B, don't take the client because they're never going to be happy. And that's going to hurt you long-term in your business. So even if you're setting expectations in day one, expectations will always be shifting. Right? And that shifts is important that we just don't say, okay, well, the sales guy set expectations, onboarding set expectations, we're done. No, every single time you have a conversation with a client, you need to be able to remind them of what's our expectations that we agree on, remind them of where we are, and then where we're going, so that it is always meeting reality. How do we do this? Recap the sales call at the start of your program. Check in with them regularly. And it doesn't have to be a one-on-one call, but you can do weekly checkups. If I am doing with career coaches, if I'm working with job seekers, and we set the expectations that for them to get a job in 3 to 4 months, they need to apply to 10 companies a week, network with 5 people per company, right? We can then say, hey, I noticed that last week you only applied to 3 companies. Is everything okay? Okay, great. Well, just want to let you know, right? Let's reset expectations that if you don't have time to apply to 10 companies correctly, then the reality is that you're not going to be able to get a job in 3 to 4 months. So we either A, change your actions so that we can hit your reality, or we change your expectations so that we can hit your reality, because both of them don't live in the same world. And so let the client decide if they either change their actions or change their goal, because one of them needs to change in order for the formula to work. And then lastly, show them their progress. And that's like important. Like I remember one of Ellie's goals, right? When she started, it was like, I want to be able to sell out my program. And then, to the entrepreneurship roller coaster, I remember Ellie was down 1 week and I was like, you do know that you sold your program out in 6 months, in 6 months, which is more than you expected. You should celebrate the wins, right? And so we're able to close the gap and then increase the happiness of a client because the reality actually did match the expectations that we set from day one. So why is this critical? If clients don't feel like they're making progress, they assume they're stuck and they're not moving forward. And this is actually comes down to like, no one stays still. We're either growing or we're dying. So if the client doesn't feel like they're growing, they feel like they're going backwards in their business. And so if we are not reminding them in what area they are growing, then they're going to feel like this is not working. So show it before and now, right? Comparison, use progress tracking, and then celebrate the small wins. If we do that in a constant basis, the equation will always work out. We'll always have a happy client. Happy clients leads to more testimonials, more referrals, more testimonials leads to getting more clients, and it just grows the business for everyone, right? So the equation, expectations minus reality equals happy clients. The happy client formula is simple and is common sense, but common sense is not common practice. Remember, if you have a good transition from sales to client success, are always resetting expectations and keeping up and showing them the progress that they're making, this will ensure that your clients will always be happy. Happy clients means better execution. Better execution means better results, and better results means better testimonials and more referrals. This is the biggest marketing hack you can do and the biggest way to ensure that your business grows. Now, if you found value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're ready to take the next steps in your coaching journey, then apply to work with us. We will ensure that you will be a happy client.